What if a single question could change your life? Imagine standing at the edge of a cliff, looking out at the vast expanse before you. The horizon seems endless, filled with possibilities and uncertainties. This is the moment where a simple question can shift your perspective entirely. Not by providing answers, but by unlocking a hidden power within you: vulnerability. Vulnerability is often misunderstood. It's not about exposing your weaknesses for the world to see, but rather about embracing your true self with all its imperfections and strengths. We often shy away from vulnerability, associating it with weakness. We build walls around our hearts, thinking they will protect us from pain. But in reality, these walls often keep out the very connections we crave. But what if it's the key to unlocking deeper connections and a more fulfilling life? Imagine the warmth of a hug from a friend or the comfort of a heartfelt conversation with a loved one. These moments are made possible through vulnerability. This essay explores the transformative power of vulnerability, not through grand gestures, but through the simple act of asking meaningful questions. Questions that invite honesty, openness, and a willingness to be seen as we truly are. We'll delve into real-life examples and research, revealing how vulnerability can reshape relationships and empower us to live more authentically. From the campfire conversations that forge lifelong bonds to the quiet moments of connection on a walking trail, vulnerability is the thread that weaves us together. Get ready to discover how embracing vulnerability can unlock a world of connection you never thought possible. It's about finding the courage to ask the questions that matter, to listen with an open heart, and to share your own story without fear. In doing so, you'll find that vulnerability is not a weakness, but a profound strength that can transform your life and the lives of those around you. Imagine approaching a stranger and asking, "When was the last time you cried in front of someone?" This seemingly simple question, posed by a speaker at a conference, sparked an unexpected wave of connection. People, initially hesitant, began sharing deeply personal stories, their voices thick with emotion. The question, disarming in its directness, cut through the surface level of small talk, inviting vulnerability into the space between strangers. Tears were shed, stories unfolded, and a profound sense of connection emerged. This experiment highlights the power of vulnerability to bridge divides and forge unexpected bonds. We've all been there, locked in an argument that seems to escalate with every word, feeling the tension rise with each passing moment. It's a situation that leaves us feeling more distant than ever, as if a wall is being built brick by brick between us and the other person. These moments of disconnection are often rooted in our differing communication styles. We may not realize it, but the way we express ourselves and the way we interpret others can vary greatly, leading to misunderstandings and frustration. Often, these frustrating encounters stem from mismatched communication styles. One person might be seeking emotional support, while the other is focused on finding solutions. This mismatch can create a sense of being unheard and misunderstood. Take, for example, a recurring argument between a husband and wife. The husband seeks emotional connection, hoping to share his feelings and receive empathy. He wants to feel understood and supported in his emotional journey. He craved empathy and understanding, a space to process his emotions. He needed a listening ear, someone to validate his feelings without immediately jumping to solutions. On the other hand, his wife, focused on problem solving, offered advice and action plans. She believed that by providing solutions, she was helping him overcome his challenges. Her intentions were good, but they didn't align with his needs at that moment. Both approaches were valid, yet their mismatched communication styles created a chasm, leaving both feeling unheard and misunderstood. The husband felt that his emotional needs were being dismissed, while the wife felt that her efforts to help were unappreciated. This example highlights the importance of recognizing different communication needs for meaningful connection. By understanding and respecting each other's communication styles, we can bridge the gap and foster a deeper, more empathetic connection. It's about finding a balance between expressing our own needs and being receptive to the needs of others, creating a harmonious and supportive relationship. Researchers have identified 3 primary types of conversations: practical, emotional, and social. Practical conversations focus on tasks, information, and problem solving. Emotional conversations center around feelings, experiences, and seeking empathy. Social conversations revolve around shared interests, lighthearted banter, and building rapport. Understanding these categories is crucial for effective communication. When we approach conversations with different goals, mismatches occur. Imagine a student seeking emotional support after a difficult exam. Offering practical advice while well-intentioned misses the mark. The student needs empathy and validation, not a study plan. Recognizing the type of conversation is essential for meeting emotional needs. Successful communication requires not only recognizing the type of conversation, but also matching it. This involves active listening, empathy, and responding in a way that aligns with the other person's needs. If someone is seeking emotional support, offering a listening ear and validating their feelings is crucial. Conversely, during a practical conversation, focusing on solutions and offering helpful advice is key. By matching the conversation type, we demonstrate understanding and create a space for genuine connection. This doesn't mean abandoning our own communication style, but rather adapting it to foster understanding and meet the needs of the moment. Dr. Adai, a renowned cancer surgeon, initially struggled to understand why patients opted for risky surgery despite the slow growth of prostate cancer. He had always relied on medical data and statistics to guide his recommendations. The numbers were clear. In many cases, watchful waiting was a safer and more effective approach. Yet, time and again, his patients insisted on undergoing surgery, even when it posed significant risks and potential complications. The medical data pointed to watchful waiting, yet patients were adamant about surgery. This contradiction puzzled Dr. Adai. He spent countless hours reviewing case studies, consulting with colleagues, and even attending conferences to find answers. But the more he searched, the more elusive the answer seemed. It was as if there was an invisible barrier between the clinical evidence and the patient's choices. Frustrated, Dr. Adai realized he was missing something crucial: the patient's emotional landscape. He began to understand that the decision to undergo surgery was not just a medical one, but deeply personal and emotional. It was influenced by fears, anxieties, and hopes that were not captured in the clinical data. This realization was a turning point for him. He shifted his approach, replacing assumptions with a simple yet powerful question: why? Instead of presenting data and statistics, he started to engage his patients in meaningful conversations. He asked them to share their thoughts and feelings about their diagnosis and treatment options. He wanted to understand their perspectives and what drove their decisions. He asked patients about their fears, concerns, and hopes for the future. He listened intently as they opened up about their worries and aspirations. Some patients feared the cancer would spread if they didn't act immediately. Others were concerned about the impact of surgery on their quality of life. Many expressed a desire to take control of their health and do everything possible to fight the disease. This simple shift unlocked a floodgate of emotions. Patients began to share stories about their families, their past experiences with illness, and their hopes for the future. They talked about their fears of losing control and their desire to be proactive in their health. These conversations were eye-opening for Dr. Adai. He realized that by understanding the emotional context of his patients' decisions, he could provide better care. Patients revealed anxieties about their families, fears of losing control, and desires to be proactive in their health. They spoke about the pressure they felt to make the right decision for their loved ones and the fear of regret if they chose the wrong path. These insights were invaluable for Dr. Adai. They helped him to see the bigger picture and to tailor his recommendations to each patient's unique situation. By asking why, Dr. Adai tapped into their emotional needs, leading to more informed decisions and stronger doctor-patient relationships. This approach not only improved patient satisfaction, but also led to better health outcomes. Patients felt heard and understood, and they were more likely to follow through with their treatment plans. Dr. Adai's transformative approach became a model for other healthcare professionals, demonstrating the power of empathy and communication in medical practice.